Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Autumn Embers and today I am building a 70s house as part of my Houses Through the Ages series. So, I actually built this just after I built the Tudor house, and normally when I build houses for this series I like to build them as and when I'm going through the timeline. So for example, I started off with the Tudor era, the next era after that was the Stuart era, and then the next era after that was the Georgian era, and I'm just basically going through the timeline and then building houses according to that timeline. But despite there being 485 years between the Tudor era and the 70s, I really just wanted to build this house because if you know nothing about the 1970s, you know at least the 70s had a very questionable, some may say kind of ugly interior design. It's like, what were they thinking? Why do you think that was good or that was nice looking? I have no idea. But for that reason, I just really wanted just to jump in and go straight to the 1970s and build and decorate the interior of this place because I knew I was going to have fun with all the clashing colours and patterns and stuff. Lovely. So, in the 1970s, for the exterior, they followed on from the designs of the 1960s. The overall look was modern with large windows. The 70s houses also had exterior walls that were either plain or decorated with tile hangings or wooden boardings. The roofs were shallow, pitched, and just like the 60s, they had flat roofs for Porsches and garages. So, for this one, when I get to the roofing, you may notice that the roofing isn't a shallow pitched roof. However, the picture I was following, I actually found on an estate agent's website and was being sold as a 1970s house. And it said, but basically everywhere in the description, it was a 1970s house, and I feel like I can trust an estate agent because I know they know what they're looking at. And so I actually found two 1970s houses on this estate agent website, and I wasn't too sure as to which one I should build because the other 1970s house did have the exterior walls that had the hanging wooden boards around the windows that you would typically find on the top floor or the second floor. And so I was like, okay, which one of these do I build? And so I went to Instagram and asked the people who follow me on Instagram which of these two 1970s houses look the most recognizable as a 1970s house. You guys thankfully picked this one here. I'm so happy that you did because ever since the 1940s rolled round, I've been building rectangles basically with a roof on top with windows. And it's just so nice to build a house that wasn't a rectangle, that has a little bit more of an interesting shape. It's also just nicer to look at as well. And I personally think basic rectangle or box shapes or even really flat wall homes in The Sims 4 don't look as nice as they probably would do in real life. For example, the Georgian house, I was so nervous building that didn't really want to build that because Georgian houses are really beautiful in real life. They're so stunning, but because they're just like a really flat cube, I just knew it wasn't gonna look good in The Sims 4. So I spent a lot of time trying to find that one. But yeah, anyway. Going back to the 1970s, I'm so glad you picked this one just because it has more of an interesting shape to it. So I'm so glad. So thank you for that. 70s houses were built as terraces, semi or detached. This one is a detached home. Houses that had a garage attached to it was very popular. I do actually attach a garage next to this build because just before I was going to do this voiceover, I knew I wanted to redo the front garden of this build because, like I said, this was the second house that I built for this series, and so I just feel like my landscaping skills has got better over time. And so I just really wanted to redo the front garden because in the thumbnail you will see it, and the garden can make such a difference as to how your build looks, and I just really wanted to make this really good. And so I wanted to go back and redo the landscaping. And as I was going to go back and redo the landscaping, I actually noticed that there were a few bits and pieces of this build that weren't as correct or as how else could I put this, or accurate as the picture I was following. There was just a few bits and pieces here and there, like the roof line and other things that weren't as accurate to the picture that I was referencing. And when I do these Houses Through the Ages builds, I tend to follow a reference picture, and I would like the build that I'm building The Sims 4 to look as close as to the reference picture that I'm building, so I'm giving you the most accurate representation of a build that you might have seen during that era/decade. So when I noticed a few things here and that weren't completely right, I had to change them. Just little minor changes. So I do attach a flat roof garage to this house. I don't think I've noticed it the first time around because it was just on the edge of this picture and it was behind a tree. So that's probably the reason why you didn't see it the first time. So now we are inside, I can talk to you about what was popular in the 1970s for interiors. So they had bathrooms, which was wonderful, but they were often coloured bathrooms. So for example, they had an avocado green bathroom suite. And you may have seen me, the very first room that I did was the bathroom, just because I was just so excited to build or decorate the bathroom, because I have actually seen a 1970s avocado bathroom suite with really garish orange brightly patterned tiles, because I went on a family holiday. It was a cottage and it had an avocado bathroom suite with these very garish tiles, and I just couldn't wait to remake it for this build here, because it was just like, oh my god, okay. It was a lot. It's like, oh, my eyeballs, the why. Pattern tiles were a big thing in the 70s, so we have them in the bathroom, the kitchen and the laundry room. And just to say, because this was a house that I found on an estate agent's website, I can't remember what website it was, but because it was being sold, that meant I could follow the what's it called, the layout, the interior layout. I could actually follow the interior layout. So the interior layout we have now, or the floor plan that we have now is the floor plan from the house that I was referencing from. So that's that. Fake wood appliances. So for the fridge for this kitchen, I found a fridge with a fake wooden look to it. I believe it's from the ice cream pack. I can't remember what that pack is. Plastic was still very much fantastic in the 70s, with vinyl tablecloths covering up indoor dining tables, Rattan / wicker outdoor furniture was a big thing, so bring that outdoor furniture inside, lovely. Wood paneling was a big thing, along with floral prints. We don't really have that many floral prints in the game, which was sad. Ceramic vases / lamps was a big thing. Sunken living rooms. So this was another thing that I went back and did as I was redoing the landscaping. I redid this living room because we now have platforms, which means I can now sink the living room down a little bit. So that's what I did, and it just looks great in the best ugliest way ever. Sunburst clocks and mirrors. So I do pop these in around the build. As you can see, we have one in the living room now. I do get rid of it just because I couldn't find a proper place for it. It's a little bit too big once I put things here and there in the living room. So it's not in the living room, but the sunburst clock is in other rooms of this build. As you can see, it's the vintage glamour one, and I felt like that was the closest I could find to a sunburst clock, so that's why we have that one. They really loved earthy colours in the 70s. They liked a little bit of harvest gold, which is either like an orange or yellow colour, can be either or, burnt orange or avocado green, and other colours such as turquoise and pastel blue. Crochet blankets, and a lot of them I noticed had square patterns on them, and so again, as I was redoing the front garden and the landscape, with the addition of Nifty Knitting, I can now add the suggestion of that someone may be making a crochet blanket, which is great. I love all these little details I can now do. Floating stairs. So at the moment I have not put in the floating stairs, but at the very end you do see the season stairs, which are the floating stairs. Macrame oh my gosh. Macrame plant hangers and wall art. So again, that was one of the things I can now put in as I was going back, because when I was first building this, we had no hanging plants in the game, and so to represent the hanging plants, I used debug hanging plants, but they can sometimes come with a shadow if you put them indoors. So I replaced them, now owning Nifty Knitting, so that's great. Shag rugs were great and lovely. Fully plaided rooms and beanbags. So if I bought the high school years, which I'm really tempted to actually own, because that just means more things for teenagers I can put in teenage rooms, and I love the look of the 4-poster, really like French looking bed. I really like the look of that, and the hanging wicker chair with the lights on it. I really like the look of that. But if I actually owned that pack, which I don't, I could have put down beanbags, because I believe there's beanbags in that pack, but I don't own that pack, so no beanbags for this build here. So here I am just doing like a little desk nook area. I do build a separate office for this build. I don't show you it because I was running out of time, and when I was first editing this video, I wasn't doing videos that normally went up to 30 minutes, and so when I first saw that it was going up to 25 minutes, like, oh my gosh, no one's gonna watch it, it's 25 minutes, nah. But now if I was editing this video, I would have left in this lottie, but I didn't have that footage because I might have deleted it, because this video was just sitting in my files for such a long time. So I think I deleted it. So we do have a separate study office space. I'm just thinking it could be used for someone who works from home and just wants like a closed off space for themselves, whereas the one in the living room, because it's in the living room, we have like lots of noise from the telly, it's by the garden, so it'd be really noisy. So I thought that could just be useful like kids doing their homework. And I do pop down lots of kids drawing that the kids can do. At the drawing table, I popped in a kid into my family and just got them drawing. They skipped school and just did a whole bunch of drawings for me, and I put them on the wall. And it also just makes it a little bit more lived in, which I quite like. So normally when I do these videos, I like to talk about as to what may have happened during that time. And so in 1971, the UK adopted decimal currency. It went from sixpence, shilling, half crown to what we have today, which is pounds and pence. And that was introduced on Monday the 15th of February 1971. So one day after Valentine's Day. In 1976, Britain experienced a heat wave with record temperatures in the summer of 76, with top temperatures being 35.9 Celsius, and it lasted for 15 days. Unfortunately, in 2022, we have now smashed through that record. We have experienced 2 days of 40 degrees weather and about a month and a half of temperatures being from 27 to about 33 degrees of just pure blistering sunshine. And I have absolutely hated every single bit of it. And I believe in 1976 they also experienced drought like we're experiencing this year. In 1977, the nation celebrated Queen Elizabeth II's Silver Jubilee, which is 25 years. This year, in 2022, we have celebrated her Platinum Jubilee, which is 70 years. I only really watched the concert for her celebrations. I didn't really watch anything else. I saw bits and pieces of I don't know what it was. It was people walking down the mall in fancy costumes going around Buckingham Palace roundabout. And I just saw bits and pieces of that, and it was really slow and kind of dull. No offence to the Queen. In 1979, Margaret Thatcher became Prime Minister, and she was the first female Prime Minister for the UK. Other things that were going on in the UK, so the top films by cinema attendance in the UK were, in 1977, Star Wars with 20.8 million. I have never seen any of the Star Wars movies. I've never also seen any clips from Star Wars movies. 1978, Grease with 17.2 million. 1975, Jaws with 16.2 million. Did anyone else with their English teachers at school, were their English teachers so obsessed with the yellow objects in Jaws? They were always asking us like, why do you think there may be yellow objects in Jaws? And because I was studying media studies for one of my GCSE subjects, I had one of my English teachers, and once again he was like, why do you think there's so many yellow objects in Jaws? And all we could ever think of was because yellow is a bright, sunny colour and it's contrasting to all the awful, dreadful things that were happening in Jaws. But they were obsessed with the yellow objects in Jaws. I still don't know why. 1972, The Godfather with 11 million. 1979 with Superman with 10.2 million. 1973, Live and Let Die with 9 million. 1978, Saturday Night Fever with 9 million. And 1974, The Exorcist with 8.3 million. There were other films on that list, but I just picked out the ones I felt like I knew and I felt like you would also know. So there were other ones, but they were the ones I recognize. He's so loud. I'm pretty sure you can't hear him, but there is a cat outside meowing very loudly. He is just such a loud cat. You'd be like outside and you'd be like trying to drift off to sleep, and the next thing you know, you could just hear him meowing outside. We don't know why he does it. But he's a very loud cat when he wants to be. But this is coming to an end. I believe this is the, how many bedrooms do we have? We have this bedroom, the kids' green bedroom, the teenagers' bedroom, which was the blue one, and then we have like a spare bedroom. So it's 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. So we got the one on this level, then the one downstairs. You may see there was in the green bedroom for the kids' bedroom. You may also saw that there was 2 bathrooms either side of it. But as I was redoing the roof line for this, I realised that there was an odd square bit that could not be covered by roof, because otherwise that just looked odd and it couldn't be left like flat, because that also looked very odd. And so I made the decision that the second bathroom on this floor had to go, which is slightly annoying because I really wanted an avocado green corner bath, and in that bathroom it was the perfect size for it. But with the bathroom that I have on this second floor, it's a little bit narrower, is that a word? And so I managed to fit in the corner bath, but I had to shimmy it into the wall. But it does work. I have play tested this as the kid was smashing out all those drawings. I had my adult sim basically using all the items that I felt like wouldn't work, like the avocado green bath that is shoved into the wall, but it does work. It looks normal. It doesn't look odd. So yeah. But I think this is where I'm going to leave you. I'm going to see what the kitty cat wants. He just probably wants to come inside into my bedroom, which he's not allowed to because my asthma got set off by him a couple of days ago, and I only now just feel normal. I can actually breathe without being hazy, and I actually now have medication for it. So yeah, I don't think he's not coming inside. He can lay on the landing. So anyways, this is where I'm going to leave you. So thank you for watching and listening. Please like and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you on the next one, which could be a really cool massive build with curved walls. And I'm so happy with it. It's one of these builds one was like, oh my gosh, I'm staring at it because it's just so good. But bye.